Tonight was the final discussion in a series on new strategies and new approaches for international development, organized by the SID Netherlands. SID is Society for International Development.
Today I was talking about the experience of Bangladesh, what Bangladesh has achieved over the last 41 years since its independence in 1971. One is women's empowerment, the fact that in Bangladesh women have actually got involved in the whole process of development. The other aspect that I talked about is the role of civil society in media. Over the last 20 years since the advent of the latest phase of parliamentary democracy in 1991, the media and the civil society organizations have played an important role in terms of advocating new ideas and in terms of improving the welfare of the citizens of Bangladesh. One of the key lessons that we can identify from the experience of Bangladesh is that when it comes to development, the best form of strategy that we can think of is that of homegrown, which is also innovative in many ways.
The political economy of labour represents an alternative starting point for understanding how the masses of the population in the global south who need development can achieve development themselves rather than waiting for it to be handed down by the elite paternalist institutions in the global north. Simply because the capital-centred development and state-centred development is not interested in the human development of labouring classes. It's interested in exploiting those classes to achieve capital accumulation and the augmentation of state power. If you want to understand this problem of the dichotomy between an elitist conception of development propounded by the development industry and the lack of actions by the mass of the population in the development paradigm, you have to go back to the political economy of development. Marx has got something to say to labouring classes about how to achieve real human development. And he says fundamentally, to achieve your human development, you have to achieve it yourself. You can't rely on capital or the state to achieve that development.
I would like to talk about the Millennium Development Goals and what their use are for the future. Of course, there are deficiencies in the Millennium Development Goals, but they're very important because they give a multidimensional picture of what development is. So development is not only economic development, but it is also education, health, international rules of trade, etc., etc. And rather than representing them as separate issues, I have put them in a circle which I call the wheel of development. So the wheel shows that there is an interconnection between the different issues of development, and the yin-yang symbol gives us the representation of harmony, which is the balance between male and female values. So economic development and security should be balanced by things like care for the other, redistribution, education and other social issues. Now, I believe that we now live in a network society, and most importantly, we need to establish norms which needs to govern this society.
What I saw in the debate today was very good words from both my co-participants, and both of them actually recognise that labour is exploited, but they do not have, I don't think they are able to propose a way forward because they operate within the statist and the international system and the capital-centred approaches to development. I mean, Manzoor was making a lot of very good points about states need to achieve their own development without being told to achieve it by the World Bank and international institutions. But my argument would be that it's not states per se, it's the labouring classes in those states that need to be able to make that policy rather than leaving it to the elites within those states.
In many ways, people feel that the international institutions have not really been able to find a role for themselves other than probably bringing in different policies. But some of these policies have not really worked because it lacked local ownership.
Talking about my other co-speaker, Mr. Manzoor, he very much spoke about the different actors that played a role in Bangladesh development, and he mentioned specifically the civil society and the role of women as actors, and not so much the role of the state. So that is very important. Also, what I talked about before is the network society, so different actors have a different role in development. We cannot look at it top down, but it is top down and bottom up.
The power of the third sector comes very close, the power of the third sector of Manzoor comes very close to the importance of strong union than Selwyn proposes. So those two were not too far away, but their vision, their road towards their analysis were very different. And in the end we had Dorine van Norren with her new approach of wheel of development, which included also many values and other strategies in enhancing development policies.